Well, here we are again working on the studio. This time I'm doing some more serious work, so this will most likely be split into a few parts, concluding with the installation of the desk I built about a year ago, so stay tuned for that. But now, with the studio cleared out, I'm now pulling out all of the ceiling tiles on the drop ceiling, and then pulling out the insulation. I really had no intentions of re-insulating the ceiling when I first moved in here, but every time I would do something inside of the drop ceiling, just a mess of dust and rocks and junk would come out, and at first I was like, oh, that's weird, there's like old mortar blobs on these ceiling tiles, but the more I would disturb the insulation, the more crud would fall out. So since I'm replacing the floor, I thought now would be the right time to get rid of this mess. Yeah, it's that bad. The only logical explanation for why all this is up in there is above half of the studio is a bathroom which was remodeled at some point before I moved in. I'm pretty sure there was tile down before they replaced it with more tile. So while they were demoing the tile, a ton of old mortar probably fell through the subfloor because this is an older house. It has diagonal slatted subfloor, which as you can see has some wide gaps. But like, seriously, it's insane the amount of creep chunks and dust that is just sitting on top of the insulation. So honestly, that was the worst part of this, but knowing that mess is out is such a relief. And for the new insulation, I'm using Roxol Safe and Sound, which is basically the best off-the-shelf solution for blocking sound. I added 2 layers. I probably could have squeezed a third in there, but I wasn't too worried about it since even just 1 layer would have been much better than what was in there before. And pro tip, whenever cutting any sort of foam or fiberglass insulation like this, a bread knife makes quick work of it. Also, when opening these, if you just whack the plastic with the serrations of the blade, you don't end up slicing the bats in half. So with that done, I can pull out this old hideous floor. I had some help for this since I wanted to get it done as quickly as possible, so we pulled out the old baseboard and shoe molding, and then the floor. My house is built on a concrete slab, so this is just a floating floor, meaning that it's not fastened down in any way. The planks just lock together and the walls keep it from shifting. So pulling it out is rather simple. Once you get going, it comes out super easy, but just be careful. And with the old floor out, we can install the new floor. This is also click and stick flooring, so it just snaps together. It is kind of hard to get started, but once you get rolling, it's super easy. This space is right around 500 square foot, and we got the old floor out and the new floor in about a day and a half. Now on to all the trim. The baseboard is just 1x6, so the actual dimension is 3/4 by 5.5. And as you can see, I painted it black, and I'm just using the baseboard, no base cap, and no shoe molding. Here's a hack for you. use your manual cymbal tuners to find the studs. You can feel around, find the screw, there's your stud, shoot your nails. For the door casing, I made my own with 1x3 and a piece of doorstop, which I ripped down to about 1 inch to use as a back band, and this acts as a place for the baseboard to dead end into. And then of course I went back and filled all the nail holes and gave everything a fresh coat of paint, and I also painted this corner black just so it blends in a little better. For the doors in the studio, I bought one new one just to modernize the look a little bit, so I had to fit that one first, but the others I kept and they're all getting painted black, so I bought this really cheap sprayer. This thing is a piece of and this is the first time I used it, and well, the spray handle kind of exploded, so instead of stopping, I just kept spraying and then rolled it smooth. But on the flat door, there was just way too much paint and it got all sorts of orange peel on it, so I had to sand that smooth and roll on a few more coats. That is not how you install a handle. And to finish up this episode, I got another workbench because I seem to keep outgrowing my current work surfaces. And to hide the blankets, I cut up some scrap wood and painted it black to tidy things up. And then last, I put up the trim, which I may replace, I'm not sure yet. So that wraps up the first episode of the studio remodel. There'll probably be 2 or 3 more videos. I haven't really thought that far yet, so just stay tuned and you'll see. But already with just the floor and the trim, things look a million times better, and I'm so excited that this is finally getting done. I planned on doing this last year, but I just had too many things going on where I needed a usable studio, but no worries since I'm here getting it done now. So everything I did was pretty self-explanatory, but if you have any questions, feel free to drop a comment. Also be sure to like and subscribe. But that's all for this one, and I'll catch you in part 2.
Wait. Cut the shit, Dave. Hey, I really gotta kill this shit for real, man. I ain't got time for bullshitting around, man.